students, good morning to all of you. I welcome you all to the today's session. Today we are continuing with the topics which we have left in the previous videos. As you can see, today we are going to deal, first of all, we are going to discuss about food intolerance. Now, since the food intolerance, the word is the combination of two words, that is food and intolerance. Food, as we all are aware, is the rich source of energy. Intolerance means which our body is unable to tolerate. In simpler words, we can say that the food which cannot be digested by our body is termed as food intolerance. So, next, there are some of the causes of food intolerance. So, the causes can be part or complete absence of activity of enzymes, which helps in breakdown of food elements. So, the major cause of food intolerance is the partial or complete absence of enzymes. Now, how enzymes may lead to food intolerance? So, enzymes helps in breakdown of food elements. So, when enzymes are absent, are unable to function properly, it leads to food intolerance. Next, moving towards symptoms. Some of the symptoms of food intolerance can be fatigue, pain in joints, dark circle around our eyes, diarrhea, vomiting, stomach ache, cramps, headache and nervousness. So these all can be the symptoms of food intolerance. Now moving ahead, the management. How to manage, how to overcome the problem of food intolerance. Now, if you ask me, food intolerance is not a very big problem, so that we need to go to a medical practitioner. We can manage the things of our very own. We need to undergo certain very simple steps. So, I had enlisted some of the steps. So, the very first and foremost thing is, we need to keep on eliminating the foodstuffs, as well as we will be reintroducing some of the foodstuffs. We will check ourselves that our body is comfortable with which are the foodstuffs, which are the food items, and also which are the food items our body is unable to digest. So that is a very easier process to identify that which food item my body is able to digest. I will be going for that foodstuff, and when I will identify the particular foodstuff or the item which my body is not able to digest, I will avoid that food item. Then only we can overcome food intolerance like problems. For your convenience, I had enlisted some more management skills of food intolerance, that are prolonged elimination, build tolerance. So when we continuously restrict a food stuff, it helps us in building tolerance capacity. Next is fructose intolerance therapy, in lactose intolerance therapy, as well as histamine intolerance therapy. These three therapies also helps in overcoming from food intolerance. So basically, management skills consist of how to overcome from food intolerance, and here more of the responsibility will be on the individual. We need to take the initiative. For all the time we should not rely on the medical experts, that is doctors, on medicines. On food intolerance, we need to try the things of our own. We need to keep on changing over the food items. Then certainly we will one day come to identify that which food item my body is unable to digest. And when I will come to know, I will be able to identify the food item which my body is not able to digest. I need to skip that food item. Moving ahead is food myths. So first of all, what are food myths? Here also combination of two words, food and myths. So myths means all the misconceptions, all the illogical things which are taking place in an individual's life. So food myths are basically psychological things than more of reality. These are the reasons. These are taking place because of the psychology, the thinking of people, than more of the reality. Lot of misconceptions are there regarding various food items in our contemporary society. So I have enlisted few food myths, or you can say the common food myths which are prevailing in our contemporary society. Now let us discuss one by one. The first food myth, as you can see, is potatoes makes you fat. So it's a food myth, it's a misconception of people. Now when we have undergone the topic carbohydrates, there under carbohydrates, under the sources, we have learned that potatoes are the rich sources of carbohydrates. So here under food myths we are saying that potatoes makes you fat, means if we consume potatoes we will become fat. It is not like that. On the contrary, potatoes helps us in providing carbohydrates. How carbohydrates are helping an individual? Carbohydrates are the rich sources of energy. So in return, if we consume potatoes, but yes, in a limited proportion, everything, if it is done or if it is consumed in limited proportion, it will never harm. So potatoes, since are the rich sources of carbohydrates, and carbohydrates are the rich sources of energy. So here we treat the first point, potatoes makes you fat, as a misconception of human. That is why limited proportion of potatoes can be consumed. There is no risk in that. Next, moving ahead towards second food myth. The second food myth tells us that fat-free products will help you in losing weight. Again, the fat-free products, here I would like to pass on a message that all the labeled food products which are sold in the market with the label that these are fat-free products, so people, when they are seeing the tagline that fat-free products, they are buying it in bulk, as well as they are consuming it in plenty without having any scare, any fear. They are very happy that they are consuming fat-free foods that will not accumulate more of the fats in the body. But the reality is, my dear students, the fat-free foods contains more calories. So in the process, when we consume more fat-free foods, it helps in accumulation of more calories in human body. We also know that a human being requires 2800 kilocalories in a day. So in the process, when an individual is eating more fat-free food, so he or she accumulates more calories. So that sometimes adversely affect on individual. Moving ahead, the third food myth is egg increases cholesterol level, so avoid it. My dear students, this is also one of the common food myth, that one egg in a day is always healthy. But if an individual is consuming in bulk, in plenty, in more number, that may cause harm. But one egg is not going to harm, rather it is going to help the individual. It is going to balance our nutrition level. The fourth food myth is drinking water while eating makes you fat. So regarding this misconception, I would like to tell you that drinking water while eating is not making us fat, rather it helps the digestive process within the human body. So don't concentrate more on this type of food myths like drinking water while eating makes you fat. It is not like that. No reality is being found out in several research studies. Rather, research studies suggest that drinking water while eating food helps or enhances our digestive system. Moving ahead towards the fifth food myth. The fifth food myth is telling us that do not take milk after eating fish. Up to some extent it is true, but again there is no such research study that proves that consuming milk after eating fish is going to harm, because fish are also having fats and milk is also having some proportion of fat. You can give a little pause in between. You can take a certain pause. After that you can consume milk. It is not going to harm you. We need to understand that both milk and fish are for the betterment of individual. They adds balanced diet for the individual who is consuming fish, milk and other essential food items. So whenever we are skipping any item, that somewhere is lagging our nutrition level. Moving ahead, number 6 food myth, that is starve yourself to lose weight. So what is starve? What is the meaning of starve? Starve means to skip meal. Skip meal if you want to lose weight. There is no such reality. Rather, I would tell you, if you skip meal, it adds adverse effect to it. People becomes more obese when they skip meal. Rather than, it is suggested by several research studies that we should consume such foodstuffs, such healthy foodstuffs. So, we should consume such healthy foodstuffs which lets us feel appetize, which make us feel hungry very often. Moving ahead towards the 7th one, exercise makes you eat more. So, it is also a food myth that the individual who exercises more, they eat more. There is no such reality, my dear students. Lot of research studies have been undergone, but no such reality was found that the individuals who are doing more exercise, consuming more food, if it is so, there are a lot of individuals in the international sports fraternity that they are undergoing vigorous training sessions, but they are taking limited proportion food. You take example of Virat Kohli. He is doing, or he is undergoing tremendous training sessions, very strenuous training sessions to keep himself physically fit. There are many a times it is coming on the social media that he is taking very limited proportion of food, and that also with lot of care, lot of fat-free foods he is consuming. So from those examples we can conclude that exercise do not make us eat more. So my dear students, these 7 are the common food myths which are prevailing in our contemporary society. We as an individual need to take the lead role in making other people aware about these misconceptions so that they overcome those misconceptions. They also make other people aware about the right things so that our community come to know about the right things, not the all misconceptions. So my dear students, I hope you have understood the terms Today we have discussed about food intolerance and food mites. Any queries, you can ask me directly on my personal number. I am always available to help you all. Thank you all of you. God bless us all. Stay blessed. Thank you.